So, remember those Final Faction action figures that I featured, that I've done the entire lineup of, even though people keep saying, no, stop making these videos, you're no good at them? Well, from what I understand, I have featured the entire lineup, and there are no new news of any more action figures being released, so I will spare you any more Final Faction videos for a while. Until I find the comic, of course. However, recently I went to a Dollar Tree that's about 30 minutes away from me, and you're not going to believe what I found. But the reason I'm bringing up Final Faction is Final Faction has been copied. Yes, there is somebody else who is trying to get on the Final Faction bandwagon because, well, Final Faction, from what I can tell, has been doing pretty well for Dollar Tree. They're basically the Dollar Tree mascots now. It's a return to G.I. Joe and earlier figures of that time period, and they're quite cheap, and they have quite good designs and good accessories for what you're paying for them. So of course somebody else would want a little piece of that pie, and so on the shelves right next to the Final Faction action figures, I have found your action hero robot. Yes. So you may be looking at this and going, well, this doesn't really look like a Final Faction ripoff. It just looks like a regular figure. And you are half right. So this is not an obvious Final Faction figure ripoff. They don't call it like Last Fraction or Final Friction or some other Chinese bootleg name that you'd expect from some ripoff of some figure to very carefully skirt around copyright law. But I think you can tell just from looking at these what kind of aesthetic they're going for, just what kind of markets, what kind of audience they're trying to get. And it's not too far off from what Final Faction's doing. I mean, look at this robot. It's very it has a very 80s, 90s Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic. It's very, very well detailed, I'd say. Very well, I can't remember the word now, but it has some deep lines, some build quality to it. And of course it has some weapons for the figures to hold. And even the back, even though it's much more bland than the Final Faction cards. Here, let's get a Final Faction card out. Yeah, it looks like the MS Paint version of the Final Faction cards. It not as much detail. Even the font looks like a poor man's version of Final Faction. You got the kind of angular, jagged logo here, and then you have the angular, well, not as jagged, but still flashy, still gradient. Yeah, these are knockoffs. These are knockoffs of Final Faction. I don't know if they started as knockoffs or if whoever was stocking them, whoever was distributing them, I should say, made them look like Final Faction to hopefully boost sales, but these are quite obviously trying to cash in on the Final Faction craze. But how are they as regular figures? Well, I guess we should find out, shall we? Well, let's look at the back. Collect them all. Well, I did. And that's it. Distributed by Greenbrier International, who they're basically the distributors for Dollar Tree. They're Dollar Tree's brand, let's say. So, I don't know, maybe Dollar Tree is just trying to rip itself off. Maybe they're just trying to, maybe in between their Final Faction waves, they're just releasing whatever else looks like Final Faction. It's a business. Okay, let's see. Can I easily take these off, or do I need... Wow, look at that. I barely even pull on it, and... you know what? I don't want to ruin the backing too much, so I'll find a knife. Here we go. I knew I had a knife around somewhere. And I said I didn't want to ruin the back, but here I am ruining the back. Let's dump you out. So, wow. Okay. Right out of the package, I have to say I'm impressed. So the the plastic quality is actually really, really good. It's kind of rubbery feeling, but it's still solid. Still not bad. And then, of course, as you've noticed, all this articulation. Look at this. We got a ball joint on the legs. We got a ball joint on the knees. We got a ball joint on the feet. Look at that. Look at the rotation. Oh my. Wow. That's arguably, Well, but of course, these figures are kind of meant for a different audience. They're supposed to be humanoid, so they're not supposed to be that flexible, but I guess your mileage varies on which one you prefer. But yeah, good articulation. And look at the paint job. The paint job is actually really good too. I mean, there's not much paint on it, but they got it where it counts. They got the silver chest, silver robot nipples, silver kneecap, shoulders, and the arms. Not as much articulation on the arms, but can I? Yes, I can. Can it pop back on? That's not bad, actually. It easily comes off, but it snaps back on. Yeah, you can just pop it on and off, and it doesn't accidentally pop off unless you're trying. How about the legs? Can the legs? Yes, the legs can too, but again, they pop easily on and off, so not bad. You'd think that, with all the Lego that I've gotten from Dollar Tree, you'd think I'm just so used to figures' arms popping off and hands popping off and even heads popping off and just never popping back on again. And on the back, well, there's no screw job on the back. That's wonderful. It looks like, I know what those are for. I know what the poles there are for. And then the face is, the head does turn. Does the head pop off? It doesn't look like it. I don't want to try harder than that. Face looks very alien-like, very synthoid-like. Now, how do the weapons feel? Just little plastic things. Honestly, they kind of look like they're from Final Faction. It almost looks like they took some weapons from Final Faction and just colored them black, or molded them black, I should say. Just very, very slightly remolded them. But do they fit in the hands? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay. And the gun... Gun fits too. Now, can it stand? Can it stand? Ooh, look at that. Oh my guy. I can't get anything to stand on this set that I use. And yet here we go, holding two slightly heavy weapons, and yet he can pose very easily to stand. Wow. Just I don't have any other words to say, but because I am so impressed. But I don't know why I'm impressed with a figure that only cost $1.25, but for $1.25, this is much more than I'd expect. So, okay, who is this guy? This is Gratuitous Prime. Yes, this is Gratuitous Prime. He has a really big gun, and that is why he is called Gratuitous, because it is way too big for his needs. You know, he uses it for everything. You know, he goes, I am going to fry some eggs. Gratuitous Prime, can't you just use the oven? No, because I am Gratuitous Prime. And, oh look, I must go get my mail. Gratuitous Prime, can't you just go walk over to it and not wait for the burned, charred letters to fly from the sky? No, because I am Gratuitous Prime. I must make a YouTube video. Actually, that one's too believable. Okay, so, Gratuitous Prime, go over there with your little SpaghettiOs detector thing and think of other things you can needlessly shoot. And we got a red one. Yeah, these are all just called Robot. That's it, just Robot. Movable arms and legs. Or Bros et Hombres Mobiles. I'm sure that's how you actually say it. I know I could have pre-opened all these beforehand, but, you know, I just like wasting your time, and you must like it too. Otherwise, why are you here? And my camera just had a nasty hiccup. I don't know, it got too hot or something, but I was talking for about 5 minutes without even noticing. This is going to be fun to edit later. But anyway, as I was saying, here is the red guy. Kind of looks like Big Bad Beetleborgs, if anyone remembers that show from the 90s. I barely do. Kind of a scuba tank type of design for the head. Head doesn't turn as well as Gratuitous Prime. So yeah, you can tell it's not the exact same design across the board. So we got different shoulders. That these look much more cylinder-like, and these are much more boxy. And then the head, of course, is different. Legs, or knee pads, I should say, are much slimmer. Really rocking that Robo Cod piece there. And he's got a jet engine built into his chest. And of course, silver placed in different places. So I guess this guy is the scout of the team. Yes, he just flies around and he goes... because that's the sound a jet engine makes. So, yeah, what shall we call this guy? He's a lot looser than the other guy, but let's see. Let's call him Psi Alpha Beta Gamma Delta Oclops. Yes, that's his name. Psi Beta Alpha Gamma Delta Oclops. I am going to forget that name very, very soon. And he's a scout, and he has my guy. And here I was calling Gratuitous Prime's weapon way too big, but that is okay. But it's not even real. No, you see, he holds it, but it's just cardboard. Yes, he just holds it, and he walks around with a cardboard weapon, and everybody goes, well, why do you walk around with a cardboard weapon? And he says, the ladies. And all the ladies just go, yeah. And he also has a handheld coffee maker. Yes, handheld alien-looking coffee maker. So everybody thinks it's a weapon, but it's actually a coffee maker. And everybody just goes around saying, well, why do you have weapons? Why do you have fake weapons and you don't actually do any fighting? And he says, well, because I'm the Scouts, because I don't need weapons. I just fly around and spy on people, like... And then everybody goes and asks Gratuitous Prime, and they ask, well, why did you hire a scout with such a loud engine who doesn't actually do anything for the team? Because obviously the evil bad guys can hear him coming from a mile away. And Gratuitous Prime just goes, psh. Does that answer your question? Oh, I got to do something here. I got to do some. Hopefully I remember which weapons go where. Okay. Ready? Bro first. Thank you. And finally, and yes, I have opened this one while I was fixing the camera. I don't have to waste your time there. This guy, the Green Ranger of the group. So that probably means that he's going to be the best character, even though he's only introduced like halfway through and he's constantly played by different actors. And actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't really watched Power Rangers. I only know of... Apparently, in the original Japanese show, the Green Ranger was a guy who was dying. Like, he only had 24 hours to live, so he had to keep going inside this mystical dimension to stop time or something, and so every time he went outside, he used a couple more minutes until finally he just ran out of time, and then he died. And that's all I know about that, because I wasn't allowed to watch Power Rangers growing up. I was allowed to watch Mummies Alive, but not Power Rangers. Think on that for a bit. Anyway, knee pads are different, much flatter than the other two. Ooh, the feet are different. Yeah, the feet look like suction cups. Ooh, yeah, so that means this robot can climb up walls. Oh no, wait, he can't. They're metal. Let's see. Much flatter shoulders. Not much shoulders compared to the other two. Let's see, silver in different places. Much bigger codpiece. Let's see, speaker there so he can blast his iTunes while he's flying around destroying crime. Or is he causing crime? Are these the good guys or the bad guys? And then, of course, the helmet, which, spins around much easier than the other two. It looks very insectoid, in my opinion. Actually, kind of looks like the Rocketeer's helmet from, well, the Rocketeer. How that guy saw out of his helmet, I have no idea. And what are his weapons like? Where did I put them? Right here. So this guy has another bulky gun. Again, kind of looks like something from Halo. I would not be surprised if they ripped these designs straight from Halo, or if they are very Halo-inspired and they just changed a couple things to get around the law. Of course, they're dollar store items, so their legality isn't exactly something they're too concerned with. So yes, he has his big old bubble gun thing, and he shoots it and bubbles come out. Not big enough bubbles that like trap the things inside and then they can't get out, but just little squirt bubbles. It entertains the kids. And then he has this thing, his portable waffle iron. Yes, the rest, unbeknownst to most people, robots really do love waffles, so he's right there with his little waffle iron in case of waffle emergency. They're fighting whatever good guy, bad guy they have for that week, and they say, "Oh no, our energy cores have been depleted. We need waffles." "Oh, don't worry, I'm right here with my waffle iron." "Yes, we are fully energized, and now we can continue fighting. Thank you." Oh, that's right. What is his name? Ted. Yes, his name is Ted. He's a simple robot, makes some waffles. Doesn't really need that advanced name. So, why don't you just stand right over here. Yeah, we'll stand right over here and contemplate on the magic of making waffles. And we'll get this guy back out with his weapons here. Oh, no, wait, these are for the other guy. Here's your weapons. Here's your weapons. So put that there. Put that there. Can I get them all to stand? Got this thing and this thing. There we go. And up. And there you go. There is the whole, what are these called again? Your Action Hero Robot Troop. Put that back there for background. Yes. So, like I said, they're not entirely Final Faction ripoffs, but you can tell that that's definitely where they're getting inspiration from. They're following basically the same aesthetic, basically the same idea. In fact, here's the Final Faction robot, the AMRC, ACRM, now I've completely forgotten his name, but this is an official Final Faction robot. Can I get this guy in frame? Good enough. Yeah, you can definitely tell where they're getting their inspiration from. I mean, you put this guy right next to the other two, and, he looks almost exactly like they look almost exactly like they're from the same set. This guy does have a little bit more detail. I mean, a little bit shinier steel, a little more design, a little more angular design. Doesn't look as plain and solid color as the others. Well, except, of course, for the back. But even... You know how I was saying that I was thrilled that these things could stand? I'm starting to second-guess myself there. Okay. So yeah, it's obvious that everyone is following basically the same aesthetic, basically the same Saturday morning cartoon idea. It's just these guys look a little cheaper. So if you want a cheap variation of the Final Faction, well, these all cost the exact same, so you're kind of getting the same value, the same quality, no matter what you spend. I mean, so let's see. What are these guys? You know what I've decided these guys are? These are like the government team for Final Faction. Well, I guess Final Faction is technically already a government team, but these are the government replacement team. Yes, the Final Faction team led by this guy, Steadfast. Let's move these guys. Let's see if we can get them all in frame. You know what? You guys just go over there. Okay, anyway, so yeah, the Final Faction team led by Steadfast. Yes, he has a meeting with the government, which is represented by Nick Fury here, that I just have a statuette of, and Nick Fury is like, okay, Steadfast, you and your team are too much of a loose cannon. You have destroyed too much of the world, and that's the aliens' job. Therefore, we are going to replace you with robots we can actually control. Yes, meet your action hero line. We have Gratuitous Prime and the Alpha Beta Psi Alpha Beta Gamma Delta Oclops and Todd. Yes, and they will be replacing you, for they are completely within our control. And when has the government ever made something worse? And Steadfast and team are just, oh crap, okay, we're retired, everyone, let's just go to a beach or go work in the circus or whatever. And meanwhile the robots are going, crime, 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 and everybody, and all the civilians, which are represented by this Mickey that I have, they're going, yay, we love the action heroes, yay! But then the big bad Karn guy, which, I should have gotten him out, but the big bad Karn leader, he gets out and he goes, they think that they'll stop us with legions of robots. Well, I'll fix that. And he types something in his computers, and the robots suddenly go, we need energy. We collect energy for the Karn. Everybody in our way will be vaporized. And then the civilians are all like, no, oh, I've been vaporized. And then Nick Fury has to go find Steadfast, who's, I don't know, working at Denny's. And Nick Fury has to go, we have made a huge mistake. Who knew that recruiting some easily reprogrammable robots would be such a mistake, and so we need you back. And Steadfast goes, okay, fine, just let me get this order done. That'll be $1.98. Fries with that? No, okay. All right, team, let's all get together and destroy your hero action guys, which is what we wanted to do at the beginning, but we couldn't, but now we can. And then they go, and they wreck the camera, but they also go, and then Nick Fury comes in and says, the government by Nick Fury comes in and goes, oh, well, good job, you have saved the day. We don't want robots anymore. Even though we could make some even better robots, we have decided we need humans on the team. And Steadfast and the team go, yes, Final Faction, away! Yeah! Because I don't think they're ever given any kind of catchphrase. And that's my original story, Do Not Steal. But, yeah. In all seriousness, I think that these could very easily be used with Final Faction figures. And even if they are knockoffs, even if they are very obviously trying to cash in on Final Faction, they're good knockoffs. Good quality, good paint job, very good articulation. They can hold their weapons. Yeah, while you're waiting for the next wave of Final Faction, hey, go ahead and check these guys out if you can find them. It's just an $1.28, so... No, $1.25. Where did I get the $1.28 from? Oh, I think it was an episode of South Park. But, yeah, there you go. That's what I think. I give these guys a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, these guys get maybe a 9 out of 10, and these guys get an 8 out of 10. That's my very unscientific idea of how these things are graded. So, thank you for watching. If you want these, then go find them. And my name is EC Infinity. I like people. I like trees. I do not like people who grow on trees. Yeah, that's my sign-off now. Deal with it.